Hello, my name is Savira Putri and Ibu Bernadette Kushartanti. We are from Universitas Indonesia. We are going to present our research entitled The Use of Demonstrative in an Indonesian-Speaking Child's Narratives. Okay, so to talk about the demonstrative. It is a determiner that is used didactically to indicate a reference spatial, temporal, or discourse location. According to Krida Laksana, in Bahasa Indonesia, ini or itu is used to refer to person or object. While according to Alwi, ini and itu are categorized as demonstrative pronoun. So, talking about narratives. Children have the ability to compose a coherent story according to Nicolo Polo. Well, actually, there are two sides arguments, some pros and cons. Some researchers said that children cannot produce good or coherent story, but others said that they can, but on their own way. For children, especially those who are in pre-operational stage, referring to certain objects in their narratives is one of very important tasks to be learned in language acquisition. Okay, these are the theories I refer to: Tata Bahasa Baku Bahasa Indonesia, Language Development in Narrative Context, and Cohesion in English as Comparison. The problem is how an Indonesian-speaking child used demonstratives in order to compose cohesive and coherent narratives. Then, the method. The subject of this research is an Indonesian-speaking child. He is 3 years old, and we record the data before bedtimes for 3 months, recorded by the parents in the form of conversation. So the parents' role is to maintain the focus of the child and giving some setback channels. The stories produced by the child are spontaneous and in the form of imaginative stories. The trigger to make the child wants to tell the story is by giving the question, mau cerita apa, or what do you want to tell? And then the data was transcribed orthographically. So here are the results. So the demonstrative ini and itu in the child's narratives have at least 3 functions. First, it is as a subject. Demonstrative itu as a subject. Here is the example. So we see the speech 62. Terus ada itu yang jalan. So itu here is a subject that is followed by verb jalan. There is a that walking, but actually we don't know what does he mean by that. We can see actually then what does he mean by that by itu here in speech 64. Itu namanya ambulans dan pemadam. So actually he means itu yang jalan, that walking are the ambulance and fire engine. So we see here the subject is followed by verb. Alright, and then the second function, the demonstrative itu as a reference. So look at the example here, the speech 7. Tapi burung itu bawa tembakan pura-pura. That bird brings a fake gun. That bird. So what does he mean by that bird? Which bird does he mean? That is, he means a specific bird that he has mentioned before in the speech 6. Another bird with a gun. Burung satu lagi yang bawa tembakan. So he doesn't mean a bird that is not mentioned yet, but he has already stated. Burung satu lagi yang bawa tembakan. So it is one of the way of the children to connect between one character and another character, and then also how to connect one event and another event. So he maintained one character by saying that bird, specific bird. While itu here in this example is an attribute to adjective. And not only non-phrase and adjective, it's also itu can attribute to the verb. It is also the same that we found in the demonstrative ini. It has also the function as an attribute to a noun and also to a noun phrase. Look at here. Harimaunya tiba-tiba itu harimaunya makan ini, makan dinosaurus. Okay, so ini here we can see what he means by ini here is by looking at the next speech, that ini is an attribute to a noun. So here is also a strategy of the child to maintain the story, to be still coherent, still connected to one event and another event. Alright, so that's all our presentation. The conclusion. So the demonstrative ini and itu have three functions in child's narrative. The first as a subject, followed by verb or noun, and also it can mean something as a noun. And as a reference, it refers to a specific character or event mentioned before, and also an attribute to indicate noun, adjective, or noun phrase uttered afterwards. Demonstrative ini and itu are used by the child as a strategy to compose a coherent narrative. So the children have their own way to produce coherent story. Okay, thank you very much for the attention and